back to my channel. My name's Anna Maria, aka the Vegan Amazon, and today we're in my kitchen. We are about to make homemade vegan pancakes, so stay tuned. So for today, what we will be needing is whole wheat flour. If you are gluten-free, then you can also use coconut flour, almond flour. I wouldn't recommend chickpea flour, but that is an option if that's what you have. We're gonna need, so I'm gonna double this recipe because I have a lot of people that are gonna be eating. If you wanna make it for just one person, then it would only be 1 cup of flour. But in this case, we're gonna make it 2 cups of flour. Make sure you even out the cup. You don't want it mounds of flour. And what I tend to do so that my pancakes are fluffy is that I'll sift the flour first. So, where's my sifter? Hold on. Here it is. It was hiding from me. Okay, so I'll put the sifter over the bowl, and Emmy is gonna go ahead and pour the flour in. Go ahead, pour it into the bowl. Good job. So I'll go ahead and shake the flour in. Since I'm using whole wheat flour, it tends to be a lot finer, so there's not a lot of sifting that needs to be done because it usually doesn't clump up. So it's just literally just throwing it through the strainer real quick, or through this little mesh. There you go. You see, and there was no clumps. Yeah. And now it's extra fluffy. So we're gonna go ahead. Hold your horses.
Can I eat it?
No!
Why?
Because we need it for a recipe.
Oh.
Okay. So here's the 2nd cup.
Yes.
Go ahead and sift it back. In the bowl. There you go. There you go.
All flour.
All right. So the 2 cups of flour are sifted. We won't be needing that mesh anymore. Actually, you know what? I'm lying. So usually I do 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You can use any baking powder. Don't confuse it with baking soda though. A lot of people will. So this one does get a little bit clumpy. So I do suggest that if you have a sifter, keep it nearby. So for 1 cup of flour, if you're only doing it for a cup of flour, then you would only do 2 teaspoons of baking powder. But in this case, since we have 2 cups of flour,
Can you use the apron that
go get your apron. So in this case, because we are using 2 cups of flour, you're just gonna go ahead and double it and do 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So this one does look like it's gonna need a lot of sifting simply because it's got a lot of clumps. You see how grainy it gets? You just go ahead and press your fingers against it and it should do the trick. Push it. Alright, now we're done. Okay, so normally I do 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. The same thing, if you're only doing 1 cup of flour, then you would only need 1 tablespoon of brown sugar.
Yeah, I get my fingers out of these.
Okay, so now we have our 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Stop sticking your fingers in the bowl. Stop it.
I want to flat it.
Now, I do have a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt, or pink Himalayan salt, my bad. No, don't do that, you silly goose. So I do crack a little bit of salt in there.
I want to crack salt.
Okay, so you got it? And twist it.
Is it cracking?
And you only want to sprinkle it. You don't want to drown it in salt. Ready? Mommy's gonna help. Watch your fingers. There we go. That's enough.
I want more pieces.
No, no more pieces.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
so
soft.
this is what your dry ingredients should look like. So we have our flour, our baking powder, our brown sugar, and then we also have a little bit of salt. In a small bowl, I have 1 tablespoon of ground flax seeds. This is gonna act as my egg binder.
I want to do it.
So to this ground flax seed, hold your horses. To this ground flax seed, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of water. So 1, 2, and 3. And just let it sit there. We're gonna go ahead and add our milk.
Good morning, Daddy.
Oh, good morning, Daddy.
Good morning.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add our milk. You can use any plant milk. I prefer almond, unsweetened, original.
Can I drink
And
some milk?
the brand that I use. Can you let me talk?
I want to drink some milk.
Can you wait?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the brand that we use is Almond Breeze. No, I'm not getting any sponsorship by them, but you know, if you want to Almond Breeze, I'm always looking. All right, so usually people use soy milk or like cashew milk. If I have cashew milk on hand, I will use that first.
I want.
Baby, grab it from, ooh, you see? Grab it from there. Good job. Pour it all in. Okay, so for the milk, I'm gonna be using 2 cups of milk. So here's the 2nd cup. Okay.
It's a big full of milk.
Lastly, to my plant milk, I am going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of white vinegar.
Vinegar.
Thank you. So that's 1 and 2. And then we're gonna go ahead and basically just stir the milk so it gets a little bit frothy and let it sit for a little bit. Let me do the final touches, okay? Okay, so basically everything should be mixed. And now that we've let the milk kind of bubble up and get a little bit frothy, we can start pouring it into our powder.
I'm gonna mix up and you're gonna.
We'll get the other fork then so that you can mix too, because we're both gonna have to mix in this one.
Sorry, Mom.
You're okay. All right. So that flaxseed mixture that you had left aside is now getting a little bit gooey. So now we're gonna go ahead and pour that in. And basically this is what you should have now. Once you finish, now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna, girl, you need to wait. Now that I'm finished with this mixture, now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my stove. So I have my little pancake pan and some Earth Balance butter, not sponsored. Then I like to go ahead and use that same tablespoon as my measuring spoon for tiny little pancakes. So I'll go ahead and put a nice clump of clump of butter on my pan. I already have my pan in medium-high heat. And then I'll start lowering it. Okay, so I have my 7 pancakes in here and I'm gonna let them get bubbly. Once the bubbles stop rising, then I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over and let them cook for like another minute. So I have my spatula and I'll start from the first one that I poured in. So this one's basically done already. On this side, I just have to flip it over.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
They're still yummy.
They are.
But I'm waiting for the cake.
Are you ready for your pancakes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just kind of press on them. Just because I kind of want to make sure that they're cooked all over.
Cute.
We're basically done. This is what they look like.
Oh, no.
And now it's just a matter of laying them out and letting them cool for a second. So my little one can go ahead and dig in. Move the pan to the side so that it can cool down a little bit before I go ahead and lay out the next serving of pancakes. But basically, this is what my pancakes look like. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it up.
Thumbs up.
And subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click on that bell button so you're notified every single time that I post up a new video. And again, thank you guys so much for watching.